When I was in my early teens, I decided that I wanted to keep a kestrel. So I applied for a licence. At that time, you needed to apply for a Home Office licence to remove a bird like a kestrel from its nest from the wild. But it wasn't granted, and this all came when conflict with the outside world was just about to explode. Looking back on it, I was beginning to recognise the fact that, you know, I was a little bit different than the other kids in the class. They didn't want to listen to a 15-minute monologue about, you know, the breeding behaviour of the kestrel. Thinking back, I was already just ferociously determined. I wasn't really going to let anyone I didn't know, didn't have any respect for, tell me what to do. So I found a nest. I climbed up and there were young kestrels in it and took one of them out. It was extremely beautiful and I loved it with an enormous passion and amount of energy. So the obsessive interest and the, you know, intense focus on that one organism meant that I could just exclude everything else, and that's what happened. It was some sort of mental love missile, and I just lit the touch paper and fired myself into it at oblivious speed, and it exploded and sparkled, and it was totally beautiful.
The trouble with going back to places like this, it's a catalyst to expose things that otherwise you wouldn't normally think about. Kids beat other kids up, but that wasn't as bad as where they would be coming down here yabbering on about all of their parties. And
I was at the most vulnerable point in my life. I'd been rejected by my peers, who I didn't know who I was. What made me upset was I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why, that, you know, that I was getting picked on and excluded.
I've taken up running. I needed to stop thinking, so I used to trot on the block. Then 2 blocks. 2 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles. Before it happened, I couldn't run for a bus. Now, I could do a marathon. Not that I would, of course. That would involve others, and I'm not into that. I like pounding the pavements alone at night. My heart beating, the blood rushing through my head.